Okay, picture this. You wake up tomorrow, you're super excited for a day at the beach. But when you get there, the ocean is just gone. I don't mean low tide, I mean completely, totally vanished. Poof.
It's like someone found a giant bathtub plug at the bottom of the planet and just yanked it out. Whoosh! So what would actually happen if our oceans just disappeared? Let's dive in and find out. Well, maybe not dive.
You've seen those incredible pictures of Earth from space, right? It looks like this gorgeous, spinning blue marble. And all that beautiful blue? Yep, that's our amazing oceans. But if you take away all that water, poof, our planet is a totally different color. It's suddenly a brown and dusty rock with these gigantic, empty canyons where the oceans used to be. And for the first time, we'd see a secret world that's been hidden for all of history. Sunken pirate ships, massive mountains, all sorts of things.
So that's the big question we're asking. If the oceans vanished, would it be this awesome, incredible adventure? Or would it be an absolute, total disaster?
Come on, let's be honest.
For the first few minutes, it would probably seem like the coolest thing ever.
So let's start with the adventure part. Because, with no water in the way, a massive, brand new part of our planet is just sitting there waiting for us to explore. Instantly, a whopping 70% of our world is brand new land. You could find lost treasure in the skeletons of old pirate ships, you could climb huge mountain ranges that are taller than anything on land today, and you could walk across these giant land bridges connecting everything. Get this, you wouldn't need a plane or a boat anymore. The continents are all connected now. You could actually put on your hiking boots and walk from New York City all the way to London. Or, just take a quick stroll from Russia over to Alaska. And this new landscape would be just massive. The Mariana Trench, which used to be the deepest spot in the ocean, is now an open canyon that is 7 miles straight down. That is way deeper than any canyon we have on the surface. Exploring this new world sounds incredible, right? But hold on. While we're all busy planning our world record-setting hikes, we have to ask a really, really important question. What happened to all the fish, and the whales, and the sharks? And this? Well, this is where the fun adventure part kind of comes to a screeching halt. The really sad truth is, without water, almost every single creature that lives in the sea would be gone. Instantly. Losing all that sea life is just the first domino to fall. The next problem is, believe it or not, even scarier. Because it has to do with the air we all need to breathe. Okay, I've got a super important new word for you. Phytoplankton. Say it with me, phytoplankton. They're basically these super, super tiny microscopic plants that just float around in the sea. And just like trees on land, they breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out the oxygen we need to live. Now, check this out, because this is going to blow your mind. These tiny little plants are absolute powerhouses. They make up to 80% of all the oxygen on our entire planet. That is so much more than all the giant rainforests combined. Wild, right? So, if they all disappeared overnight, would we just run out of air? Well, scientists actually have a little debate about this. Some say, yep, we are in serious trouble. If nothing's making new oxygen, we're eventually going to run out. But others say, hold on, we'd probably be okay for a little while because our atmosphere is kind of like a giant backup tank of oxygen that has a lot saved up. But okay, even if we had air to breathe for a while, the planet would be facing 2 other gigantic problems. Get ready for some serious, serious heat and no more rain, like ever again. You know how an air conditioner keeps your room nice and cool on a super hot day? Well, the ocean does that for the entire planet. It soaks up a ton of heat from the sun, which keeps Earth at just the right temperature for us. Without it, the sun would just bake the ground and temperatures would go through the roof. So the planet is basically turning into a giant oven. But why would the rain stop? I mean, what do clouds even have to do with the ocean? Well, it's all because of something called the water cycle. Think of it like a 3-step recipe for making rain. First step, the sun heats the ocean, and some of that water turns into a gas. We call it vapor, that floats up into the sky. Second step, way up high where it's cold, that vapor turns back into tiny water droplets and forms clouds. And third step, the clouds get full and release that water, and it falls back down as rain. See, the ocean is step 1 of that recipe. It's the main ingredient. So if you take away the ocean, the whole recipe just fails. No ocean means no water evaporating, which means no new clouds and, you got it, no more rain. The whole system is completely broken. And a world without rain would change absolutely everything. Rivers and lakes would dry up until they were just cracks in the dirt. Farmers wouldn't be able to grow any food for us to eat, and the whole planet would get so dry that forests could burst into flames from the tiniest spark.
Okay, let's put all these pieces together now. We've got no sea life, maybe a shaky air supply, scorching hot temperatures, and zero rain. So the really big question is, could any of us actually survive on a planet like this?
Well, again, scientists have some different ideas. Some think that maybe a few small groups of people could survive in special underground bunkers, like in a sci-fi movie, recycling water to stay alive. But a lot of others say, no way. The surface of the Earth would just become way too hot and dangerous for anyone to live there.
It's really just a giant domino effect when you think about it. The first domino is the ocean disappearing. That knocks over the next one, the planet's air conditioner breaks. That knocks over the rain, which then knocks over all our food and our forests. It just proves that the ocean isn't just a big, pretty body of water. It's the powerful blue engine that keeps our entire world running.
So it's pretty clear that having no ocean water would be a total disaster. But it really gets you thinking, doesn't it? What if the opposite happened? What if all the ice at the North and South Poles melted and suddenly we had way too much water? Now that is a question for another time.